also call it the no-dig method.
The no dig.
Yeah.
Say again,
No dig.
No dig.
no,
Without digging.
Oh,
so
no
you're
dig
not,
what? No dig method.
Method.
No dig method.
No dig method.
Because you don't dig these gardens.
Right.
You don't have to.
And who was the lady that came up with that? Ruth, you said? Ruth?
Well, there's another. This is my experimental area. This is the Ruth Stout method. Have you heard of Ruth Stout?
Perhaps it doesn't.
She wrote articles in the 40s and 50s.
40s and 50s. Wow.
Yeah. And she wrote for Organic Gardening magazine a lot. But she wrote some books called the easy method of gardening or whatever.
Yeah.
But nobody ever believed her. She just put 8 inches of hay on top of the ground.
Okay.
And she kept it, every time a weed came out, she put some hay on it. Okay? And her soil was so rich that she didn't need any amendments.
Yeah.
She didn't feed the stuff because it was being fed by the natural, things in the soil.
Yeah.
Plus, alfalfa hay has a lot of nitrogen. So you've got your nitrogen. And so I'm going to experiment here because this soil in this area, in this house, is terrible.
Like clay and.
A very heavy clay, but
Yeah.
I actually think it was used as the place where they took off the topsoil and then they put all the building materials.
Oh, okay.
Because I think it's got to
lot of
have a
fill.
lot of stuff in there. But I've been working on it for 20 years. So Dave and I decided to put these beds, the lasagna method, as you say. We decided to put them in and then also I'm going to experiment over here, see what happens.
So you're going to put the layer of hay and then leave it alone in there, or that's it. That's just like a sheet.
That's right.
Like
that's
a
it.
sheet in there, and then
When you plant, you just move
and
the
then
hay.
plant in there.
Yeah.
So that will be like a kind of like almost like a mulch,
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
like a mulch in a way. But it's alfalfa that it will eventually decompose and enrich the soil with a little more nitrogen
Along
and
with-
protein and.
Well, and along with the insects and
Right,
bacteria and
I believe the most organic you have in the soil, the most biological complex you're going to have in there, and more life dying inside. All those creatures that die in there will be producing the food for the mineral for the plant they're going to be growing in there. So
Right.
More diversity is.
That is practically the principle, right? That is the idea.
Right.
So how does that
you
go?
start with a layer of newspaper or cardboard. So all the Amazon boxes.
Put
have
your
gone
Amazon
through.
boxes to good
Very
use.
good.
Yeah.
And then you could do a 4-inch layer of hay. Then I use a mixture of bone meal and blood meal that I sprinkle on top of the hay. Then you put a layer of straw. Oh, you wet it down. Then you put a layer of straw. Put more blood and bone meal on top of that. You wet it down, and on top of everything, that's what your dad's going to do. Compost. Okay.
The leaf post.
Oh, leaf post. Oh, good.
Look
This-
at
this stuff.
wow! Look at this
Good stuff.
rich organic matter here from leaves, tree leaves.
And we have to let it sit for about a week, and then we can plant.
Very good.
And for this one, like if you plant seeds in this Ruth Stout method, you just move the hay aside, you plant the seeds, and then you put fine shavings or sawdust on top of it, just to prevent the birds from finding the seeds.
Yeah.
And when they sprout and get big enough, then you can put the hay back around
Oh,
them.
okay.
So,
Very cool. Are you gonna miss your grass?
heck no. The only thing I kept grass here because I have a clothesline.
There you
So
go.
I didn't want the clothes to drop, and when they drop off the clothesline, I don't want them to drop into the soil.
She has the most beautiful San Agustin in this area. Was growing here in Placentia, in Orange County, like that. It's just nice and healthy, no weeds. It's
Just tastes like garbage. So.
Yeah,
Yes, it does. And it's full of nut grass.
but I'm sure that the goats, sheep, and cow, we like it, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would have a goat, I would have chickens here if somebody would let
Oh,
me.
chickens.
Forget it. You can come clean my coop if you want.
Chickens. I didn't know chickens were so aggressive with grass. They
Oh, yeah.
they can. I have a fescue grass growing in my
Oh, yeah, they
backyard.
love fescue. Tender.
I left my wife didn't want. I have a chicken coop.
Mm-hmm.
Or we have. Well, it's
You hear that, Dave? They have chicken coops. He grew up in.
They're full of chicken poop.
ah.
You know,
So-
as you said, I was raised, my dad, my grandmother had a chicken hatchery.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we had like 15 acres of chicken,
Wow.
including a lot of chicken manure, which I shall not really go into. You have not lived until you have walked up in Idaho into a closed chicken house in the dead of winter.
Ooh.
It is a true unbelievable experience.
Ooh.
Let's leave it that way.
Yeah.
And I have shoveled more chicken manure than
So you grew up very organic.
very organic. Although I was slanted towards the biological one end of the organic spectrum. There wasn't a lot of plant stuff
Yeah,
there.
I love it.
On
That's
the other
it,
hand, I was manure-rich.
That is, excuse me, my word, but that is really full of shit, right? Yeah, that was
That's what he
being
says.
full of shit.
That's what he says. So yeah, so that's what we're doing, and we're gonna put weed cloth in the aisles,
Yeah.
just to make it easier, so we can put mulch on top of the weed
Yeah.
cloth.
Then in
Fight
here,
the weeds the rest of the
in
life.
here, what I going to do in here, she didn't want the drip irrigation in here because she want to have a control of the watering, a better control of the watering. So
Because you know, if you've got irrigation everywhere, you may have plants that have reached the end of their
Sure.
time. You can turn off the mini sprinklers, but you
Yeah.
can't turn off the
The drip.
drip.
yeah.
So, we're gonna go with mini sprinklers to
So
give
we're
us
going to bring
flexibility.
that the ladder in here. Practically, we're going to make it a hot water. I mean, a live water or permanent water pressure from the valve in there. So that will be, we're going to eliminate the valve, so the water will come in here. We already have a shut-off valve in there, but I might put a shut valve somewhere in there, so it will be somewhere in here. But we're going to have a hose beam in there, right? Another hose beam in there.
Yes.
So probably somewhere in there I might have a shut-off valve to easier that to go sunset break in here is easy to just shut it off in here than to go all the way in the back. But then we're going to have that line running in here. So a whole beam in here is already there. Whole beam in there, whole beam in there, and then she's going to have the battery controllers.
Oh, okay.
It's-
Timers.
all those things, myself, I call those Mickey Mouse, but Mickey Mouse, it works. Work is practical.
Well, you know, there's sometimes that professional systems don't actually give you the flexibility.
Yeah.
Right.
On scale, yeah, certainly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this
So
is
if you wanna-
tiny. If you're talking about 100 acres,
Go
I
for
mean,
it.
you can't do that.
A golf course, something like that, or the
Yeah.
his chicken farm.
Yes. He knows about golf courses too.
I heard that.
He's like, let's go.
Ready to go?
Let's go get into quick 9 real quick.